Okay, so you walk into a warehouse, right? But it's not what you'd expect. It's not rows of workers bustling around. Instead, you see robots zipping back and forth, like something out of a movie.
It does sound futuristic.
Right. But get this warehouse automation. It's not science fiction anymore. It's happening now.
Yeah, it is.
And we're about to find out just how much it's going to shake things up. We're diving deep today into an article from Supply Chain Brain, 6 Steps for Successful Warehouse Automation Adoption. That's the title.
Catchy.
It is. And it's by Christina Gomez-Terry, VP of Operations at Plus One Robotics. So we're talking real expertise here.
Definitely.
Our goal, to understand not just what this automation stuff is all about, but how companies can actually make it work.
Yeah.
You know, the practical side of things.
The how-to guide.
Exactly.
Well, one thing that really jumps out is that prediction. By 2027, over a quarter of all warehouses are going to have some form of automation. Think about that.
Wow. Yeah, that's a huge change. Not just some little upgrade.
No way. This is going to impact everything. Jobs, cost of goods, the whole supply chain.
Makes you wonder, though, can we even handle that many robots? Most warehouses I've seen, they're built for people, not machines.
Right, exactly. Imagine trying to fit a robot, and they need charging stations, wide aisles to move around into a space designed for humans. You know, with good lighting, ergonomic workstations for the people.
Yeah.
It's a totally different footprint. It's a challenge, especially for companies trying to retrofit their existing warehouses.
And then there's the big question everyone's thinking about: jobs.
Yeah.
A robot's going to take over completely.
It's a valid concern, for sure. But this article makes a really interesting point. It says successful automation isn't about replacing people. It's about creating what they call human-in-the-loop ecosystems.
Human in the loop, what's that mean?
Okay, so think of it like this. AI systems, they're powerful, but they still need human guidance. Humans bring that context, the understanding of those little nuances that robots might miss.
So it's more like a partnership. Human and robots working together.
Precisely. And to make that partnership work, companies have got to be upfront with their employees. Clear communication. How's automation going to affect your role? What kind of training is available? And emphasizing that human expertise is still valuable.
So it's not just saying, don't worry, your job is safe. It's about helping people see where they fit in this new setup.
Exactly. And here's another key point. It's not just about the workers on the floor. You need buy-in from everyone. The C-suite board members, IT, everyone.
Everyone's got to be on board.
Yes. Because they all need to understand what success even looks like with this automation. And that starts with defining those KPIs, key performance indicators, right from the beginning.
Okay, so you get everyone on board, defined your goals, but then what? Say you get your robots all set, everyone's excited, then bam, you hit a snag. Because the robot can't handle something a human would do without even thinking.
Oh, yeah. Those exceptions, the article calls them.
Right. Except.
And this is where it gets really interesting. Imagine a robot needs to scan a label, but the label's all crumpled. A human would just smooth it out. No big deal. But for a robot, that's a problem.
So even with all this fancy AI, those little things can trip them up.
Absolutely. That's why companies need to think ahead. It's not enough to just buy robots and hope for the best. You got to anticipate those exceptions, those little things that could throw a wrench in the works.
So how do you do that? How do you plan for the unpredictable?
Well, one approach is to use AI vision systems that can actually learn from human feedback. So let's say that robot with the crumpled label, a human worker steps in, shows the robot how to smooth it out. The AI actually learns from that interaction.
Whoa. So the AI is being trained by the humans on the job.
Exactly. And it's not just about training the robots. The article talks about a 5-step training process for the human workers, too. First, you identify your core team, the people working directly with the automation. Then you work with your automation provider, develop those tailored training programs.
And this is where that feedback loop comes in. You don't just throw the training out there. You actually listen to the workers. Make adjustments based on their experiences. Keep refining until everyone's confident.
Precisely. It's all about collaboration. And it's crucial for making this work in the long run. But even with the best training and all that, let's face it, things are going to go wrong.
Oh, yeah. Robots break down. Systems glitch. It's bound to happen. What happens then in this automated world?
Well, that's why the article stresses having those clear troubleshooting procedures. You got to know who to contact, what steps to take. Ideally, you've even run some drills beforehand.
Like a fire drill, but for your warehouse robots.
Exactly. You don't want to be figuring things out in the middle of a crisis. And that brings up another critical point, continuous learning.
So it's not just about that initial training.
Nope. You got to keep learning, adapting. Even after the automation is up and running, think of it like software updates for your phone. You need those updates to keep things running smoothly. Stay ahead of the curve.
Keep things from crashing.
Right. In the automation world, that means constantly refining your processes, upgrading your AI systems, making sure your team is up to date on all the latest advancements.
We've covered a lot already. The planning, getting everyone on board, the challenges of retrofitting those warehouses, and of course the training, troubleshooting, continuous learning. It's a lot.
It is, but what's really fascinating is how this article reframes the whole idea of automation. It's not about robots versus humans, it's about finding a way for both to thrive.
Yeah, it's about embracing the possibilities, but also acknowledging the challenges. So what are your initial takeaways? We'll be right back to delve even deeper into this warehouse revelation.
You know what really strikes me is that this whole thing, it emphasizes the human element. It's easy to get caught up in the tech, the robots, the AI, but in the end, it's the people who will make or break this automation thing.
Totally. We could have the fanciest robots in the world,
Yeah.
but without the right people to run them, they're just expensive paperweights.
Exactly. And that brings up a really interesting question. What skills are going to be most valuable in this new world of warehouse automation? Obviously, technical expertise will be huge, but I think problem-solving, critical thinking, the ability to work alongside AI, those are going to be just as important.
It's like we need a whole new kind of worker. Someone who's comfortable with high-tech stuff, but also gets the human side of things.
Yeah. Imagine the job titles: Robot Wrangler, AI Whisperer.
I like those. Though human AI integration specialist might look better on a resume.
Maybe. But you're right, the article talks about upskilling current employees, giving them the training and resources they need to thrive in this new environment.
Which makes me think about those who maybe don't have the chance or the interest in learning these new skills. Is there a risk of creating a two-tiered workforce? Some people thriving in these high-tech roles while others get left behind.
That's a crucial question, and we need to address it head on. We need to make sure these training opportunities are open to everyone, no matter their background or experience.
So it's about creating a system that's not just innovative, but fair. And it goes beyond just tech skills, right? We were talking about communication, collaboration. Those soft skills seem even more important now in this kind of environment where you're working alongside robots and AI.
Absolutely. Imagine a team of engineers, technicians, warehouse workers, all trying to solve a problem together. You need clear communication, the ability to listen, understand different perspectives, and the flexibility to adapt when things go sideways. Those soft skills are essential.
It's like a whole new set of soft skills for the tech world. It's not just about coding anymore. It's about connecting, collaborating, bridging that gap between humans and machines.
And that connection, it goes beyond the warehouse, too. Think about the impact on consumers. As automation makes things smoother, more efficient, we could see faster deliveries, lower shipping costs, a more responsive supply chain overall.
So it's not just robots and warehouses.
Yeah.
It's a ripple effect that touches every part of the supply chain and ultimately benefits all of us. But let's be real. This transition isn't going to be all sunshine and rainbows. There will be bumps along the way.
Of course. Implementing any new technology has its challenges. There will be unexpected hurdles, learning curves, probably a few headaches along the way, but I think the potential benefits are too big to ignore.
And that's why having a solid plan, clear communication, a commitment to ongoing training, it's all so important. We've talked about a lot today. But if I had to sum up one key takeaway, it's this shift in mindset.
I agree. It's about moving away from the idea that automation is a threat and embracing it as an opportunity to improve efficiency, create new jobs, enhance the way we live and work.
I love that perspective. It's not robots versus humans. It's about finding a way for both to thrive. And that brings me back to the title of that article. We're talking about 6 steps for successful warehouse automation adoption. Those 6 steps really lay it out, a roadmap for making this transition work for everyone.
Exactly. It's about approaching automation with purpose and a commitment to working together. It's not just about the tech. It's about the people who'll be using it, adapting to it, shaping the future of the industry.
And that leads to a really interesting question. In this new world of automated warehouses, what role will human creativity and ingenuity play?
That's a great question. And I don't think anyone has a definitive answer yet. It will be fascinating to see how this whole human-machine relationship evolves. Will there be new avenues for human innovation that we haven't even thought of?
It's exciting to think about. The future is full of possibilities. We'll be right back to explore those possibilities and wrap up our deep dive into warehouse automation.
Okay, we're back.
Sure.
And as we wrap up this story, look at the warehouse of the future, what really sticks with me is how, even with all this talk about robots and AI, it always comes back to the human element.
I'm right there with you.
Oh,
We've been going deep on this warehouse automation idea, and it's so much more than just the tech. It's really about people you know, their skills, and how we all adapt to this changing world of work.
absolutely. As we've been saying, successful warehouse automation isn't about just swapping out humans for machines. It's about finding that balance, where tech actually makes what humans can do even better, creates a more efficient, productive system. It's like a dance, you know? A carefully planned routine where humans and robots each have their part, each one using their strengths to create something really impressive.
I love that analogy. Really captures the collaboration and flexibility that'll be so important in this new world. Just imagine the warehouse worker of tomorrow running complex machines, troubleshooting AI systems, maybe even teaching robots new tricks.
Makes you wonder about those tasks. As automation takes over the repetitive stuff, what new opportunities open up for people? We might see them focusing on higher level things that need creativity, problem solving, critical thinking.
It's like we're moving up the ladder, right? Instead of just picking and packing orders, workers could be analyzing data, optimizing workflows, even designing new automation solutions.
Now that's exciting, but it also shows how important those training programs are. We need to make sure workers have the skills to thrive in this new world and make sure everyone has access to those opportunities.
And don't forget those soft skills we talked about: communication, collaboration, adaptability. Those are even more important now in a workplace where humans and robots are side by side.
For sure. Imagine engineers, technicians, warehouse workers all working on a project together. Each one brings something different to the table. That's where the real innovation comes from.
It's about using the power of different people to solve tough problems and make progress, and fostering that environment of continuous learning, where everyone's encouraged to grow and adapt as tech keeps changing.
That article we've been talking about, 6 Steps for Successful Warehouse Automation Adoption, it really gives you a practical guide for managing this transition well. Emphasizes planning, communication, training, collaboration.
It's a great roadmap for companies, but also reminds us this isn't the finish line. It's a journey. This whole warehouse automation thing will keep evolving, and we got to be ready to adapt and innovate along the way.
That's what makes it so interesting to be a part of. There's so much potential for growth, new discoveries, positive change.
As we finish up this deep dive, I'm definitely optimistic, but also have a lot of questions. What skills will be essential in the future automated warehouse? What unexpected innovations will come from this partnership between humans and machines?
And maybe most importantly, how do we make sure everyone benefits from this change? Creating a work experience that's more fair and fulfilling for all. That's something to think about as we move into this new era of warehouse automation.
It's a future full of possibilities, and I can't wait to see what happens. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep asking those thought-provoking questions.